Coming around here, the 3-point line, and then that split the lane in half. This is that diagram, that green, yellow, blue diagram that was on the PowerPoint that showed the primaries of the position. This is the leads primary right here. All right, so you have pretty much the post play on your side, and then up until the 3-point line, and then up until about the free throw line over there. Okay, the trail is going to have on that other side of the cones, and then the center is going to be on this side of the court. All right, you have anything?
Make sure when you're here, you're not looking up. Goaltending comes from your center or your trail. So you're just looking at post play, checking for fouls, things like that. Not looking for goaltends or anything like that.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The main thing with the lead is that you're going to be the one that's going to initiate all the live ball rotations. All right, it's something that's a lot of our new officials don't do right away, but it's something that's incredibly important to getting a better view and making sure everybody else has a better view too. So say here, Matt, can you be the, I guess, a ball handler? So say there's a post play over there and there's nobody in this primary, so the ball's over there, there's 8 10 players on that side. You might want to initiate a rotation to this side of the court, okay? And then in this situation, if the center was right over there, then Sydney's going to push up to trail, and then whoever was trail over there when the lead was over there is then going to move down to center. That's what we mean by the live ball rotating, and that's going to be initiated by the lead. Okay, so whenever you have post plays and you want to get a better view, initiate that rotation and make sure you keep your eyes on your matchups, and then go to the other side of the court. And something that when you're the trail or the center official, you have to be aware of your other partners to where they are on the floor, because the last thing we want is if I rotated and this was the center over here, and now the center thinks they're the center over there, and then we have a center and a trail, and then the center. It's not, it's not where we need to be on the court. Okay. So we'll, how many, are we going to go over and through anything? Was there anything on the sheet that, do you have the sheet with you or no?
No. I'll talk about some.
Okay. Okay, does anybody have any questions on anything regarding the lead right now? Okay, this is just for the lead official. And one thing too, like Cyrus pointed before, don't ball, when the ball goes up, don't be ball watching up because you're right under the hoop and right next to the hoop that you're going to be seeing if the ball goes in. Make sure you stay on those matchups, because the big fouls that we have is 2 people going for the rebounds, defender pushes them in the back, or a boxing out on a free throw. Watch the players, do not watch the ball, because the ball's never going to commit a foul. The ball's never going to be the one doing a violation. It's going to be the players. Okay, so just make sure that you're keeping aware of that when you're on the court in all of these positions, that you're watching the players and keeping in your primary.
And one more thing, just make sure your side is very clear. Make sure, try to stay outside this green line. You never want to be right here and have your center and trail confused about which side you're going to go up the court. So pick a side. If you're thinking about switching, don't stop right here. Actually go all the way through. If you have to switch back, then that's fine.
Yeah. If you're going to commit to rotating, then just rotate. Once you hit about this point, you should be just going. All right? Because like Zyra said, if we're going the other way and you're right here, now nobody really knows who's going to be the next lead or who's going to be on which side. So just make sure, especially if you're leading, you're rotating, that you just commit to it. And as long as you're keeping your eye on the players, you're not going to be caught underneath and out of position. All right? And same thing, you're not lead right here. Your lead, take a few steps back. There's a lot of room back here and a lot of room on that side. So there's plenty of room for you to get an angle, to get a good view. So instead of seeing, just a few players right there, I have a peripheral of the 3-point line, kind of the baseline, and so that's a good position to be in when you're lead.
Don't forget, you also can open yourself up. So if he's standing right there in this competitive matchup, he can easily just open his body up to that point. Make sure you are using your angles when you're at lead.
Yeah. The lead's primary, line is going to be the baseline. So anything out of bounds is going to be on the baseline. So the lead shouldn't be calling out of bounds on that side. That's why you have 2 other officials. So anything on this baseline is going to be the lead's call. So if we're staying here, for an out of bounds on this side, it's going to be the lead's call.
One of the things on out of bounds, if that Jonathan's over there, he swung, and he quickly goes out right here. What if he doesn't know who hit the ball out? What do you think he's going to do? I was supposed to look at his partner. Yeah. Well, I was supposed to look at his partner. What's he going to say to his partner? You can't answer anymore.
what'd you see? Same thing. So if that ball goes out right there, and he's got his matchup right here, he's got to blow his whistle. It's his line. If you're center or trail and it goes out on this line, give it like 4 seconds before you blow your whistle. Because then that means he's not paying attention. So if that ball goes out, he goes, boop, he looks at his center across here, she'll go white or blue. She'll point a direction. If they go, now we got a problem. Somebody needs to know where it went out of bounds. If you go like this and say, I don't know, go to the jump ball, unless this trail somehow miraculously sees what those 2 people did. So just remember that if that ball goes out quickly, and you're like, crap, I have no idea. What partners are there to help you out for?
And then one last thing about the lead is the lead's going to be the one administering the free throws. All right, so we went over this a little bit yesterday. Obviously, after you administer the free throw, always go onto the table side, okay? Table side is where you go when you're lead after a free throw. So if we have, 2 shots, you hand him the ball and then you go over here. But on the last shot, you hand him the ball and then you're back in your position, table side right here, all right? Because the calling official is going to give, the foul to the table, and then they're going to turn around as trail into their position, okay? So that's why I want the lead on the table side after they administer the free throw.
Inbounding the ball. If we're staying here, what am I going to tell him? Can you run the baseline or has he got a spot? Spot! I say it that loud so everybody can hear it. I don't go, spot. Here's how I usually inbound the ball. If he's right here, spot! Hit my whistle, my hand goes up. Why does my hand go up? It starts the clock. I get it, it doesn't stop for 39 minutes. So you're going to do this all the time. I hand him the ball, I start counting. He throws it in, what do? Stop counting. When do I chop the clock? When it's legally touched in bounds. Why do I say legally? If it's touched right there, it's out of bounds. What's another illegal touch in bounds? Kick. Not the feet, just the kick. So, if it happens to go out of play right here, you think I'm going to bring him all the way out here because obviously the ball went out right here. Come on out here. Does it do me any good to stand right on this line? Where do you think I should go? I'm going to keep him there. My partner right here should have that line and should be able to help me out anywhere there. I can still clearly see this. I hand him the ball. I now switch my hands. I see him in my peripheral and I've got this matchup. So I now count. He throws it in. I stop my count. It's touched. I chop. And I still have my ability to officiate here. Basically, if it's from here out, you're going to be on the inside. Here in, you're going to be on the outside. Now with a little bit of wiggle room. Obviously, standing right here, I could be on the inside. But use that as a guide. If we're going the other way, ball goes out of bounds, we're going that way. Stand right back over here. Or if it's a made bucket, we have a timeout. Or we have a made free throw and a sub comes in. Tell him he's got the entire baseline to run. I point down the baseline. Why do I point? Shows everybody. Baseline, point, take a step back, I bounce him the ball on this one. And I count. It's legally touched. Now if he takes off running that way, so he goes that way, I follow him. I'm not on his butt, but I follow him a little bit. Because not much is going to happen here. I'm not worried about this section of the line, I'm worried about down here where a foul may happen. So I follow him just a little bit. He passes it in, I chop the clock, then I have my backcourt count. And I follow him up the floor. We'll talk about that a little bit. Whenever you inbound the ball, hand always goes up. Hand or bounce the ball. If we're staying here, you have to hand the ball on this line. Chop it, and away we go. Now I don't care, as you're learning, if you're like this, I prefer you not to do that because what am I doing? I'm looking through my arm, right? I prefer spot, you have this hand. If it's on this side, I prefer this hand. That takes some time. I don't expect you all to get it. If you're right-handed dominant and you're like, well, this works for me, I like this. Just open yourself up a little bit. And then chop. I want you to be comfortable. As time goes along, you'll do this, or you'll do this. It'll work that way. Questions on that? Yes, sir.
So obviously, if the ball goes out right here, you're gonna call spot. But you said baseline, so they have free reign.
So it's like a made bucket. So let's say we have a free throw that goes in and a sub comes on. Or they call timeout after a made free throw, or after a made bucket. Yeah, it's the baseline. So anytime that they would normally get to run the baseline after a made bucket, they still get that right, provided a few things in that. That's a good question. Any other questions? Yeah.
When do you get to call timeout?
Timeouts can happen if they're in possession of the ball. So if he's on my team, I can call timeout because he's holding the ball. Now, if it's bouncing, nobody's got the ball. Nobody can call timeout here. After a made bucket, they can call timeout quickly, or when the ball's out of bounds. So if the ball goes out of bounds, you blow your whistle, you point direction, like, hey, we want a timeout. You can get a timeout there. Any other questions? All right.
All right, we're gonna go